What is going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Today is Friday. That means Zer is back in the tower. He's hanging out right over there, kind of on the balcony next to the speaker's tower. We're going to take a look at his inventory. I'll give you guys some recommendations as well. And we'll start off with the Titan armor. We've got the Eternal Warrior. So the main perk here on the Eternal Warrior is Resolute. Gain Unstoppable for Fist of Havoc. So if we take a look at what Unstoppable actually does, this is a bit of an underrated exotic. I know a lot of people will say this thing is completely useless, it needs to be buffed, but hear me out here. Unstoppable, besides making you harder to kill with Fist of Havoc, also gives you the opportunity to have max armor on a Titan, which is pretty powerful. And if you combine that with either Shoulder Charge or Juggernaut, especially Juggernaut, if you're running in with a shotgun, you've got Juggernaut and max armor, you're going to be pretty hard to kill before you can close that gap and kill somebody with your shotgun. So a lot of people are going to say that, you know, the Eternal Warrior is useless, but it's not. It's overshadowed definitely by Twilight Garrison and Armamentarium for PvP, but there's certainly a use for it. Having max armor and Juggernaut equipped can make you, very hard to kill, especially if you're shotgun rushing right at somebody. This one comes with increased intellect, increased discipline, hands-on, second thoughts, and infusion. Next up for the Hunter, another fairly underrated exotic, is the Acleophage Symbiote. Main perk here is Last Man Standing. Golden Gun gains 1 additional shot per use. In year 1, I ran this thing all the time. Definitely, since the Bones of Eo have come out, the Bones of Eo are, by far my favorite exotic on a Hunter. But the Acleophage Symbiote in 6v6 game modes like Iron Banner can be pretty good. Having 4 shots for your Golden Gun is actually relatively valuable. Whether, you just want to kill 4 people with it, like if you've got a group of 4 people you can kill, or even if you just miss a shot, having an extra one in reserve can be pretty valuable. If you're not an expert player, if your aim isn't always exactly true, having 4 shots, it can be pretty forgiving, even in Trials of Osiris. So, this one is underrated. Also, in PvE, for clearing out ads, I was running the Wrath of the Machine with somebody who's running this during the Voxix stage of the raid, and he was able to clear out ads super quick using 4 shots with his Golden Gun. He was generating a lot of orbs with it too. So this isn't a bad exotic for PvE or PvP. Obviously, everybody loves some of the newer exotics for Hunters, but this one's underrated. We've got increased strength, increased intellect, ashes to assets, second thoughts, and innervation on this one. Next up for the Warlock, something that is definitely not underrated, it's just poor, is the Skull of Dire Ahamkara. This one's got Delusions of Grandeur. Take reduced damage while using Nova Bomb. Improved energy drain ability. So it's hard not to compare this to the Ophidian Aspect because they both give you improved energy drain abilities. But the other perk is much, much better on the Ophidian Aspects. Being able to reload every weapon you have super quick and having basically quick draw on everything is amazing on the Ophidian Aspect. Taking reduced damage while using Nova Bomb, that's going to come up once every few minutes in PvE and maybe once or twice a match in PvP. It just doesn't seem worth it to use this, especially in PvP, as your exotic when there's so many great exotics available. Right now, I am completely addicted to the Ophidian Aspects. It's hard to get away from those things, and Skull of Dire Ahamkara definitely does not hold a candle to that in PvP. The roll on this is increased strength, increased intellect, hands-on, heavy lifting, and invigoration. The weapon of the week is Bad Juju, and it is a phenomenal weapon, especially in PvE, but people do damage with this in PvP too. Main perk here is String of Curses. After each kill, this weapon will reload instantly and increase damage for a short time, and kills will help charge your super. So in PvE, when you come up against a group of mods, you basically never have to reload this thing, and after you get 1 kill, you basically get crowd control for free, which is amazing. And every kill you get is recharging your super. So you recharge your super super quick. You're never reloading. You're just constantly firing the thing. It's great in PvE against groups of mods. Against bosses, you know, you're going to want to use your special or your heavy. But against mobs, man, this thing is amazing. In PvP, people do have success with this. If you get good with it. The problem with it, right, is it's for this archetype. It's in that Hawksaw archetype. It doesn't have the stability that like a really well-rolled Hawksaw has. So at range, you might have problems being accurate, hitting those headshots really quick. Up close, it's not too bad, and it does have full auto, which makes it a little bit easier to use. But it's just not as stable as something like a really well-rolled Hawksaw. So you might have a little problem with it in PvP. However, you do get a free reload after each kill, and you do gain your super faster when you get kills. So you can get your super much faster than the opposing team when you're using bad juju. It's really not a bad weapon to use in PvP if you can keep that recoil under control. I definitely recommend giving this thing a shot. If you haven't picked up bad juju yet, this thing is a very good weapon. And the ornaments for it are really cool. I know a lot of people, there's a conspiracy theory out there that this thing is being sold by Xur because the Festival of the Lost packages are giving out the ornaments for it right now. So they want to just incentivize people buying those packages. I don't know if I believe that. It does sound kind of convenient, though. It's really hard to get those ornaments out of those packages. I know people have spent $100 and not gotten them. So that's kind of rough. But the bad juju, you know, controversy aside, very, very strong weapon. Highly recommended. We also have a Legacy Engram this week. It's special weapon. So if you want a year 1 special exotic weapon at year 1 power levels, you can spend 31 strange coins on that. We got a couple of weapon ornaments. We got the Moon Glow for the Hawk Moon, which is very cool. And I actually missed this the first time it came around, so I'll be picking it up this time. We also got the Wolves Remember for the Young Wolves Howl Sword, which is a very cool one as well, although that exotic seems a little bit underwhelming compared to the other exotic swords. Curios, we've got Plasma Drive and Void Drive for your blue rare Sparrow to upgrade it to legendary status, change the color of the contrail. We got heavy ammo, 3 of coins, glass needles. Glass needles, I seem to be buying these almost every time Xur is here, just to re-roll exotic armor that I already have to make it tier 12 compatible. And these things are a little bit underrated. They're expensive, mainly because they cost exotic shards, but they're really good because if you're looking to get your character up to tier 12, this is a good way of getting your exotics compatible with that mission. And of course, we got Motes of Light. So not an exciting week. Eternal Warrior, definitely underrated. Acleophage Symbiote, underrated. Skull of Dire Ahamkara just kind of sucks. And Bad Juju is a very good weapon, but just not anything too exciting here. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time.